for Mountain West basketball. The Boise State Broncos in Vegas to take on the UNLV Runnin' Rebels. It is the final week of the regular season. Updated conference standings. And the only thing we know for sure about the conference tournament next week, right here at the Thomas & Mack, is that New Mexico will be the #1 seed. Hello to everyone. Ari Wolf alongside the coach Dave Bullwinkle. So glad that you're with us. It's been a record-setting year for the Mountain West. Great depth in the conference, highest RPI as a conference in the history of the league. But, Coach, we knew UNLV was going to be good, but they are in a position here the final week, 2 games at home, but tonight so important to what they want to do in the postseason.
Well, the first half of the conference schedule worked against UNLV. They're on the road against the best teams. Now it comes back in their favor, and with a win tonight, they got a chance to lock up the 2nd or 3rd spot in the tournament. I'd hate to have to play them in the conference tournament. They're on a roll.
And both these teams red hot. Both teams have won 4 straight games. Boise State, one of the great surprises in the Mountain West, is head coach Leon Rice has a very young team. It's come of age of late, and they are led by Derek Marks.
Well, if Derek Marks were on the team in the 1st or 2nd spot in the conference, you'd be talking about him as the player of the year. This sophomore from Chicago has a great scoring game. He's not just a shooter, he's a driver. He can create his own shot. He has an inner-city toughness and the ability to score when it's most important, as he averages almost 12 points a game in second half.
And great news for the Runnin' Rebels. Mike Mosier playing his best basketball of the season. He's dealt with a lot of injuries, but he's come on strong of late.
No question. Many people thought Mosier would be the player of the year in the conference. The elbow injury knocked him out early, missed 9 games, came back. He averaged 16 and 8 the last 2 ball games. He's playing his best basketball game of the year now, and they need it now.
Take a look at the Boise State starting lineup. Watkins, a very effective rebounder. Dremick is actually the team's leading scorer. Dremick and Marks combined are the highest scoring duo in the Mountain West. The UNLV starting lineup. Anthony Marshall has been so critical to this team's success. Kem Birch, a terrific defender. He leads the team in block shots. And Bryce DeJohn Jones really is a terrific scorer, has a pure scorer's mentality. Now let's get to Coach's keys to the game.
Well, first of all, Boise State has to gang rebound. Watkins is the only big player, and yet they get 75% of the defensive rebounds, which is number 3 in America. As Leon Rice says, they got to rebound like their hair's on fire. They got to make threes. They average 8 made threes a night. They need to do it tonight if they're going to win. UNLV, they got to run the Broncos off the 3-point line by closing out really hard. Make them drivers and get Bennett back in the ballgame. He's not starting, but when he comes in, feed and water that big guy because he's your horse.
Anthony Bennett played very well when UNLV went up to Boise. In a losing effort, he went for 25 points and 6 rebounds. So a chance for revenge for Dave Rice and the Runnin' Rebels. That game took place a little more than a month ago, February 2nd. Boise State won that game 77-72. Boise State had 4 players in double figures in that game. So here we go. Birch and Watkins, 20 minutes on the clock, and the fans ready here at the Thomas & Mack.
We'll see both teams start out man-to-man defensively. The Rebels will be a little more aggressive. Boise will press once in a while.
Bryce DeJohn Jones, quick trigger, no. Birch tries to save, but it's out of bounds for Boise State. Boise State is coached by Leon Rice, who's just done a magnificent job in 3 seasons. The most wins in school history with 3 years at the helm. And this team's only going to get better. It's very young. Their best players are freshmen and sophomores.
Well, let's mention that Leon was the assistant at Gonzaga that's #1 in America right now. And part of the reason that Gonzaga is good are the players that Leon recruited.
Dremick with the basketball. Fade away. Soft touch from Anthony Dremick, the sophomore from Australia.
2 important numbers on Dremick. He averages 19 points a game in wins and 11 points a game in losses. Keeping him under control is a key for the Rebels tonight if they want to win.
Turnover. Caden Reinhardt carries the basketball. UNLV is coached by Dave Rice. Like his counterpart, he has set a record for the most wins in 2 seasons, though, at the helm at UNLV, breaking the mark of the legend, Jerry Tarkanian.
You mean if they name the court after you, you're a legend?
I think that qualifies. Aloriaga. This is the three. They'll take a lot of threes and make a lot of threes. 7.7 made threes per game for the Broncos. Tark is in the house, as always.
A great supporter of David Rice because David played for him and was briefly an assistant coach for him.
Jeff Aloriaga going to bring it back out. Plenty of time, fresh shot clock.
Aloriaga is much more comfortable out. He doesn't shoot many shots inside that arc, but outside the arc, he's deadly.
Derek
13 games with 3 or more threes.
Marks misses the jumper. He's the one guy who can really create his own shot whenever he wants.
Need an inside touch here. Play inside out, even if it's off the dribble drive.
Marshall is fouled by Marks. Marks is so important to Boise State. If Marshall could find a way to draw a quick second foul on Marks, it would completely change the dynamic here in the first half.
Your point's really well made. Marks has become a better defender, but he's got to be softer defender now because if he has to sit down, the Broncos are in trouble.
Marshall, nice pass to Birch, but an offensive foul. Dremick takes the charge.
So let's see if the feet are set and outside of the arc. Ooh, that left foot looks like it was inside the arc.
I agree with you.
Let's see it, left foot. They can't see it there. I think Dremick moved in after Birch had left the ground. And here we see Bennett really fast.
Anthony Bennett in the game. Ken Birch goes to the bench.
If you come in after less than 2 minutes, shouldn't you be called a starter?
You could certainly make a strong case for it.
Remember what I said, feed and water the big fella, get Bennett back in the game. He needs a touch, inside touch, first time down the floor.
Dremick, the triple, count it. 67 made threes on the season.
Does a very good job of coming off screens hard and getting the shot off quickly.
Bennett, quick trigger. Dijon Jones tried to retrieve it. Dremick comes away with it. Marks in transition, floater. Nicely done, Derek Marks. And UNLV wants and gets a timeout. They trail 7-0.
And I couldn't agree more with Coach Rice, in this case, Dave Rice, with a timeout call because his team is not playing well. Too many jump shots, nothing inside other than the one opportunity that ended up being a charge. Here we see Dremick coming off the screen. Notice how he gets the shot off so quickly. He's got a quick trigger finger and that great release. And then a nice floater. Every young guard needs to have that teardrop, that little runner where you loft it over the big defender. Well done by Derek Marks.
This is a Boise State team playing with so much confidence. This is a team that's won this year at Creighton. They already have wins at home against the best teams in the Mountain West. And they're coming on strong. A lot of people assume that the Mountain West will get 4 teams in the tournament. If Boise State wins a couple more games, there may be 5 Mountain West teams in the NCAA tournament.
And you can make a great argument for Boise State right now. But if they win one of these last 2, I think they're a lock for the tournament. Now, you said they've beaten some good people, and I did the game on TV when they lost to New Mexico in overtime. They very easily could have beaten New Mexico at home as well.
Well, you and I talked before the conference slate started. We thought the conference champ would have a minimum of 4 losses. Steve Alford has done an incredible job with the Lobos.
You know what I can say about Steve Alford? The players have done an incredible job. Because Alford's a great coach, but his players have played awfully, awfully well.
The Running Rebels get on the board.
I can see Dijon Jones, play a little tougher against Marks. Wear him out. Get him tired. Take his legs away for late in the game. Nice hesitation dribble.
Oh, and a nice pass and the easy 2 for Watkins. And Marks, with all the scoring he's done of late, people haven't noticed the last 4 games averaging 6.5 assists per game.
Very good player as a guard, not only scoring it, but delivering it. Mark showing why he's not only 4th in the conference in scoring, but 4th in the conference in assists as he dumps it off to the junior Watkins.
Assist leaders in the Mountain West, Anthony Marshall, #1, Derek Marks, #4.
And what I like here, you see some guys putting up big numbers. How about he went for 46? and he's their leading scorer. You got some guys that not only score, but distribute the basketball as well. That's a great group of guards.
Terrific guards in the Mountain West. Free throw is good for Anthony Marshall. We'll get to it more later, but Marshall really is the glue out there. I mean, when he has to do so much for this team to be successful. He's the senior. He's had to learn to play the point guard position, and he's done an admirable job refining his game to play a new position in his senior year.
A little more extended defense now, a little more pressure. Make Marks work. Make him earn his scholarship tonight. See, they'll look to switch all those little-on-little screens.
Here come the running Rebels. Bennett to Mosier. Lets the defender pass. Jumper is good. Mike Mosier. Coming off his season high of 20 points against Nevada. All those points coming in the first half.
That basket gets the Rebel fans roaring, getting going again here.
It didn't take long tonight for the crowd to get into it.
Well, you know what got it into it was more defense. There they trapped the ball.
Extra pass, Dremick's three. Swish. Anthony Dremick. In just conference play, he's averaging 18 points per game. In non-conference, only 15. He's really stepped it up.
The Rebels did a great job in the last possession, closing out on Loriaga, but they couldn't get to the second pass. Loriaga made a great job with the second pass, and they couldn't get the closeout.
And Marks picks up his second personal foul. It's on the offensive side, so Leon Rice has a tough decision to make. Very entertaining start to this one. Boise State on top 12-6. We're coming right. Boise State leads UNLV 12-6, but Derek Marks now has 2 personal fouls. We'll take a look at the second personal foul, but what do? Do you put him on the bench or do you keep him in the game?
Well, I think, first of all, I bring him out to talk with him. And we're looking at the foul here, and I think that Anthony Marshall does a pretty good job of becoming a rag doll and acting a little bit. But let's go back to your question, Ari. I take him out of the game and have a conversation with him to settle him down. And then I decide, is he a smart player with 2 fouls or not? Because he has fouled out 3 times this year and averages 3 fouls a ball game.
Mikey Thompson has checked into the game. He's from right here in Las Vegas, and Thompson's a good player, averages over 8 points per game, but he's no Derek Marks.
Not just a good player, a surprise player. Initially, Coach Rice, in this case Leon Rice, was going to redshirt him, but he played so well in the fall that the assistant coaches convinced him we need him this year, and Mikey's had a great freshman season.
Marshall is fouled. Adzio Maravich has 2 fouls. That's 2 guards now that have 2 fouls. Adzio Maravich is going to stay on the floor for the time being. Justin Hawkins in the game for the first time, number 31.
They got it where they needed to get it, and he got fouled. Good job.
Anthony Bennett, like many freshmen in the Mountain West, has learned how tough it is once you get into conference play. His numbers were staggering during the non-conference part of the schedule. Then when he got into conference play, his numbers have come down to just 12.6 points per game and 7.5 rebounds. He's a very good free throw shooter for a big guy.
You're right, Ari. 7 points a game less in conference play. Now, let's talk a minute about getting the ball inside. One of the things that coaches do on the sideline is they usually have an assistant coach chart how many times the ball touches the paint, off a dribble drive, off a post feed. That's important. Get the ball inside, play inside out, good pass inside. Jump-started Bennett's game at the free throw line.
Dremick dumps it off. The 3, no good. Ball batted around. Broncos come up with it. And they will reset in the half court. This team is very efficient on the offensive end. Number 1 scoring team in the Mountain West. Number 2 in field goal percentage.
What you got here with Boise State is basically 4 guards on the perimeter, but UNLV has 4 perimeter guys that can all switch. They switch all those ball screens that are little on little, or dribble handoff.
The 3, no.
And there's that gang rebounding that Boise does such a great job of.
Thompson from 18, and he's fouled on the shot by Mosier. Boise State, their offensive ranks in the Mountain West tell the story about their efficiency, and they're just an excellent shooting team.
Yeah, a great shooting team, not just in terms of where they rank here in the conference, but they're a national leader in most of those in the top 25. Especially don't put them on the line. Now, they shoot so many threes, they don't get to the free throw line very often. But when they do get there, they shoot better than 76%.
Thompson at the free throw line. He's a 67% free throw shooter. Kem Burge back in the game as Mosier goes to the bench. Because Boise State won the first matchup with UNLV, if they could somehow steal a win here at the Thomas & Mack, they would be alone in third place. And UNLV could be looking at a number 4 seed for the conference tournament. That 4-5 matchup, no matter what two teams it is going to be a very, very tough challenge.
And one of the reasons Boise won that first game was they out-rebounded the Rebels, which should never happen because the Rebels are much bigger.
Run on, Mikey! Post up! Get ready! Get ready! Come on, Mikey! Come on, Mikey!
Bennett with the basketball. Bennett blows by the defender and throws it down. He's just too quick.
I guess that shoulder's okay.
Yeah.
You talked earlier about Bennett's numbers, conference, non-conference. They also are strikingly different home and road. He's a much more effective player than Thomas & Mack.
Broplay's jumper is good. Checks into the game, knocks down the triple. Thomas Broplay. His minutes have been up over the last 3 games. He's played most of the season with a small bone broken in his right hand as Bennett knocks down the 3.
Bennett shoots 47 from the 3 at home and 20% on the road. And he likes the 3 at Thomas & Mack. Let's go back to Broplay. Broplay had 17 points and 13 rebounds against UNLV a year ago. So Leon Rice may be saying, let's play the hot hand here.
Shot clock at 10. Valoriaga, they got to find a shooter. Broplay pulls up. Can't connect. Kem Burge the rebound. Hawkins, the drive. Leaves it short.
What we got is just what we expected. We have 2 very good teams, evenly matched, and you got to find a Loriaga. In defensive transition, protect the basket, and in this case, pick up on the porch, out beyond that arc, especially number 11.
Made more threes than anybody else in the Mountain West this year. It's now 76 made threes.
Well, we know he's a good shooter, but his shooting percentage beyond the arc is number 5 in America, not just in the conference.
45%.
Bad shot. The long 2 went double.
Tremek gonna drive, and he leaves it short. Buckner the rebound, and Buckner is fouled. Great action here at the Thomas & Mack. Valoriaga, fantastic three-point shooter. That's a deep 3, an NBA 3. And Anthony Bennett comes off the bench tonight, gets the 2-handed dunk that shows he can do it all. Knocks down the triple. Broncos in front of the Running Rebels, 19-13. Anthony Bennett coming off the bench. He's already got 7 points, coach, and he looks pretty healthy tonight.
Well, he's demonstrating his range. His range goes from point blank to 22 feet. And every place in between, showing why he's one of the premier freshmen in America.
Numbers on the season, more than 16 points per game. Great field goal percentage, especially considering he doesn't just shoot in the paint. And the rebounds, more than 8 rebounds per game.
We talked about how he's been on kind of a downslide lately, partially because of the shoulder injury, partially because he hasn't played well on the road. But he's still in the conversation for Freshman of the Year in America, and he's in the conversation for Player of the Year in the Mountain West.
Last year, the Player of the Year conversation went all the way through the final game of the regular season when Jamal Franklin and San Diego State got hot at the end of the year. This year, it's going to be a great debate to determine who is the Mountain West Player of the Year.
Well, I think what happened, a lot of people a month ago would have given it to Bennett or maybe Franklin. But both teams, San Diego State has struggled a little bit. Bennett has fallen a little bit, and players like Dorian Green and Derek Marks and Kendall Williams and Michael Lyons have played so well, they've made it a conversation beyond just the two.
And the other real factor there is that New Mexico, the best team in the conference, has two great players in Alex Kirk and Kendall Williams. So they take votes away from each other. Marshall's three is off. And Dremick had his foot on the baseline. It'll be running Rebel basketball.
A quick note on UNLV in the threes. When they take fewer threes than their opponents, they are 11-1.
In other words, when they get three happy, they're not as good as team. They got to get inside happy.
And they need to, especially against Boise State, because that's really where they have the advantage, is they have better bigs.
Now, let's talk about Derek Marks for a second. He's out of the ball game. If I'm Leon Rice, I'm thinking, okay, how long can I keep him out? As long as I got a 7-point lead, he's going to be picking some splitters out of his butt. We're going to keep him for getting foul number 3.
Offensive foul on Mosier. He's got 2 fouls. So now Dave Rice has to make a decision.
Well, the nice thing for Dave Rice is Mosier may have 2 fouls, but Dave Rice has great inside depth. And there you can see the elbow got extended, the arm got extended, and he picks up the foul. He's got to get his rear end into Dremick, not his forearm.
So Thompson will continue to run the point. He's now guarded by Daquan Cook, who's checked into the game.
Do they trap that dribble handoff? They want to make sure that Aloriaga can't get the shot off.
Throw play into the lane. Bad turnover. Hawkins in the right place at the right time.
Something that Hawkins does a lot of because he's one of the steals leaders in the conference.
He's a very smart player. Ken Burge wanted to foul, doesn't get it.
And here's where the Broncos are good. In the open floor, it doesn't have to be a layup. Or it could be.
Because they get threes in transition a lot. Down 9, Coach Rice has to think about going back and getting Daquan Cook out of the ballgame. He needs more experience on the floor. Get back, Thomas!
Mosier. That could have been foul number 3, and it's a blocking foul.
So we all remember Vlade Divac that played great games for the Sacramento Kings. Dremick put what I call a Vlade there. He took a flop, and it got called.
Dremick's got 2 fouls now. So a lot of the key players that we focused on coming into this game, Coach, already with 2 fouls. We've still got more than 9.5 minutes to go in the opening half.
So one of the things, again, we talked about Leon's situation. You have to decide. I had a great player when I was the head coach at Cal Poly University named Terry Ross. His son, Terrence Ross, was the 7th pick in the draft this year by Toronto from Washington. Terry, as a senior, was very smart and knew how to play within foul trouble. I had no problem leaving him in the game. I knew he knew how to play in foul difficulty. Some players don't know how to play that.
1 for 2 for Mosier. So Mosier still on the floor with those 2 personal fouls. Dremick on the floor with his 2 personal fouls.
This is a tough matchup, Mosier on Aloriaga. Because Aloriaga is going to pull that trigger from afar.
Aloriaga, open look, connects. Boy, he's got a beautiful stroke.
Great example for young players. He was a walk-on originally.
And now he's second in minutes played on the team. He did a great job. He played for a very good high school coach, Gene Potter, in Portland, Oregon, and has really developed his game. Just stick-to-itiveness has made him a major factor.
Lopez Sosa is fouled. Ryan Watkins picks up the foul.
Well, we talked about the inside depth that Dave Rice has. Lopez Sosa plays fewer minutes this year than he played last year, but that doesn't mean he's less of a player. It just means they have more depth.
Yep, they're a better team. Now, Derek Marks is at the scorer's table. He is going to check back into the game, so he's going to come in with 2 personal fouls. There he is. Marks with just 2 points so far.
It'd be interesting to see if Coach Rice, Leon Rice, goes to a zone defense to protect Marks, or if he just puts him on the weakest offensive player. Now, what I do if I'm Coach Dave Rice, I attack Marks, not because I think he's going to get foul number 3, rather because he's not going to play defense, so he doesn't get foul number 3. I want to attack Marks so he stays on the floor. We see Heath Schroyer working with Coach Rice. Heath Schroyer is the assistant coach in charge of the preparation for the Boise State game.
Boise State trying to do something that's been very hard for every team this season in the Mountain West, and that's win conference games on the road. New Mexico, the only team with a winning record on the road in conference play.
Well, you're talking about, let's take it a step further here with UNLV. They're 13-1 at home. Their only home loss was a non-conference loss to the University of Oregon early in the year.
Reinhardt comes away with it.
And make sure, remember, that's the Oregon team that leads the Pac-12. That's not a bad loss.
Dijon Jones, the finish off the nice bounce pass from Anthony Marshall. Back to an 8-point game.
So why does Coach Rice take the timeout for Boise? Because he just doesn't like the rhythm of the game. And in the corner, number 12, Hadziemirovich loses sight of Dijon Jones. As a defender, you have to have one eye on the ball and one eye on your man. He has both eyes on Marshall, and as a result, right behind him, and Marshall makes a great pass, and goodness knows Dijon Jones finishes.
And Anthony Marshall recognized he was in a position to take the ball to the basket because Ryan Watkins was trying to defend him, and he just doesn't have the ability physically to stay with Anthony Marshall.
Now, your point's really well made. People think that a mismatch is when a big player is posted against a little player. It's just as effective when a little player has the ball outside and is guarded by a big and can take him off the bounce. I sometimes think that's even a better mismatch.
Marshall played great at Boise, 18 points and 12 assists. Full court pressure from the running Rebels. Hadziemirovich on the floor with 2 fouls. Derek Marks with the basketball playing with 2 fouls. And a foul on UNLV. We have a break in the action. Boise State playing great basketball here in the first half. They lead the Running Rebels by 8. Great shot of Las Vegas, and it was a terrific day to be here. Temperatures in the low 70s. Boise State, 5 of 8 from beyond the arc.
You got to be there on the catch. That's what coaches say. Be there on the catch. Reinhardt wasn't on their catch. Dremick made him pay. On dribble drive penetration like this, you can't help off a shooter. Hawkins helps. That leaves the shooter open in the corner. Bro play drains it. And now, not there on the catch. If you're Bennett, Aloriaga's a long way out. I don't care. You got to be out there on it. Because this is a team that makes their living by shooting the basketball. 1.11 points per possession, 11th in America. True shooting percentage we'll discuss later on. That's really a figure that factors in 3s, 2s, and free throws to show what kind of a shooting team they are. What are they? One of the best in America. Be there on the catch.
Aloriaga leaves it short. Bennett the rebound. Reinhardt slips and turns it over. UNLV, when they've had a chance for fast breaks, it's as though they're in too much of a hurry.
Your point's well made. They've got to slow themselves down a little bit. Understand that timing is part of the fast break. See, they trap that. Every time they're going to trap that ball screen.
Marks travels with it. It's a very slow start tonight for Derek Marks.
He got the teardrop runner in the lane, and that's his only 2 points. But let's remember, he's a player that's always better in the second half than in the first half.
Of his 38 points against Colorado State last Saturday, 33 came in the second half.
Including at one point 24 straight points.
It's just amazing. Well, I talked to Coach Leon Rice about it before the game, and you know, he coached at Gonzaga. He's seen some great scores, but he said that has to rank as one of the best performances he's ever seen.
And he's just a sophomore.
Nice play by Anthony Marshall. Marshall the finish.
We talked about coaches charting paint touches. You also chart deflections, because deflections lead to interceptions, as we just saw there. And the interception leads to a run out and an easy layup.
Hadzia Maravich calls out the play.
I like they've taken Marks off the basketball. In other words, he's not the primary ball handler, to give him some better chance to get his offense going.
Good defense there for Marshall. Good smile from Anthony Marshall.
He's got a great smile. So here we see the deflection. Marshall deflects it. Hawkins digs it up, and he feeds it back to his senior partner for the layup.
Shot clock winding down. Marks has to create. Nice pump fake. The leaner. Well done.
A good job defensively by Dijon Jones. You know, sometimes you have good defense and then just great offense. He got beat by a great play by Marks.
Marks this year, 3 games with more than 30 points, and they haven't come against slouches. We talked about the 38 against Colorado State. Went for more than 30 against Creighton in one of their marquee wins of the season, as they were able to go to Creighton and win. I remember we were working a game that day here, and that score came in, and we both thought, wow, did that really happen? And they won by 13 at Creighton.
The reason he's able to execute this up and under, he keeps his legs underneath him. Watch how his legs stay underneath him. He doesn't extend his knees all the way, so he's still got legs into his shot.
Anthony Dremick now has 3 fouls. He's going to have to sit out the rest of the first half. The leading scorer, there he is. So Dremick on the bench with his 10 points.
And we said one of the things that UNLV had to do was keep Dremick under control. The best way to keep him under control is keep him out of the game.
Marks will pull up, high arcing 3. Short, Marshall the rebound.
See, that's not what Marks does best. He needs to get that shot off a movement, not off of just a face-up.
Bennett, they can't stop that. Coach, you've been preaching it all game. He's got to get touches on the block. I don't think Boise State can defend him.
That drop step, if he has a guy sealed on the high side, he's going to be able to drop step.
9 points for Anthony Bennett.
Freezer right there. Now you see how he's stuck on the high side. If we show this again, stop right there. You see how he's caught on the high side. He needs to get behind him. I say post defense, play between the ball and the man or between the man and the basket. If you get it caught on his side, he can seal you and you're in trouble.
Broncos a reset, plenty of time on the shot clock.
Where they trap that ball screen again and go back across court. Get on the floor.
Great hustle. Dijon Jones starts the break. Goodman to Hawkins, and he blows the layup. And then Watkins is fouled. Justin Hawkins, he does that. He makes that play usually 10 out of 10 times, but not this time. And he's frustrated.
Frustrated and disappointed. So here's what we get. We're going to get a trap with the ball screen. They go back across court. They rotate. It's a bad pass. Dijon Jones on the floor. Great job. Digs it out. Throws it ahead. They just get a missed layup. Use the backboard. That's CYO. That's bitty basketball. Put the layup off the backboard. Don't go it right over the rim.
The foul is on Anthony Bennett, his first.
And we got Marshall. He does everything, including cheerleading, exhorting the crowd to come alive.
Laurie wasn't expecting the pass, so almost a turnover. Thompson, deep triple. No lack of confidence from this team. Just steps into it, knocks down the triple, shoots it 41% from beyond the arc. And it's got to be nice for him coming home, knocking down the three.
Young man from Canyon Springs High School, won the state title here last year.
Reinhardt misses the three. Thompson to Marks, and Marks another turnover.
If you're a quarterback, they say you got happy feet. And in that case, Marks had happy feet. Thompson facing up against Marshall, two young men from Las Vegas. You think they played on the playgrounds once in a while?
Boise State already has 6 made threes in the game. They average 7.7 made threes a game. Reinhardt pulls up. Loose ball, fight for it. Broncos basketball.
And Bennett was lucky he didn't get a foul on that one because he was truly over the back.
Boise State has 9 turnovers, 5 by Marks, yet they still lead on the road by... Boise State leads UNLV 30-21, 3:47 to go till halftime, and we will take a look at the Boise State resume, which has improved throughout the season. 20-8, 8-6 in conference play, including for them a record 4 consecutive conference wins.
Well, I tell you what. Early on, I'm not sure I thought this team was an NCAA quality team, but I'm convinced now, no question, including what's not on here. They are 7-6 against teams in the top 100 RPI. That shows how many tough games they've played, but also what kind of success they've had.
And talking to Coach Rice, I mean, the future is so bright because all the key guys are young, and that this team has no fear. They're not scared of any other team, and everyone thinks of Boise State as a football school. Hello, America, they've got a great basketball program now, and it's only going to get better.
They're not just good on Smurf turf, they're good in the Taco Bell Arena, the big burrito.
They've already sold out for the game Saturday against San Diego State.
I'd pay to be there. Here comes the ball screen, they trap it. Good job of splitting the trap.
Anthony Marshall, another rebound, long outlet. Hawkins will finish it this time.
Now I said lay it off the board, or just dunk it through the net. Very important for Boise to maintain this cushion right now. They're up 7. They need to go in at the half, at least up 5 to feel good about themselves. If it shrinks beneath that, then the momentum has gone to the Rebels.
Loriaga, good defense from Bennett. And Loriaga, the floater, is good. He's a nifty player. I know he mainly shoots from beyond the arc, but... And he shoots, his shooting percentage is actually better from beyond the arc than his total field goal percentage. I like his game. He had a game this year where he had 10 made threes. Mosier easy too, nice entry pass. So that's what we keep talking about is the size advantage on the block.
Get it inside. Take advantage of your advantage. This is a pretty simple game. It's not rocket science.
Top 2 scorers for Boise State on the bench with foul trouble. Dremick with 3, Marks with 2.
And a smart play by Coach Rice, getting Marks out of there so he doesn't pick up number 3.
And Thompson, careless turnover, he immediately takes the blame for it. Watkins will take a seat. Buckner checks back in.
See what Buckner gives them is really, between him and Watkins, a 2-headed center and 10 fouls to use. Buckner, the transfer from College of Southern Idaho, comes in and he just bangs around and is a very good rebounder for a guy that doesn't play many minutes. His rebounds per minute played are greater than Watkins.
Mosier loses the handle.
And the coaches on the Boise bench trying to get the team to slow down, take some time, use some clock, because your two best players are on the bench.
Where do the points come from right now, Coach?
Loriaga or Watkins on the Booker on the offensive glass.
Hadia Maravich can't connect on the baseline jumper. Dijon Jones. He's fouled to go to the free throw line.
So we can see the fast break gets started with a defensive rebound. A good contest, a rebound by Mosier. Even with his injury, Mosier has always been an exceptional defensive rebounder. A long outlet pass. The long outlet saves dribbles and gets Dijon Jones the chance to get to the cup faster.
Dijon Jones misses the free throw. He's a 75% free throw shooter.
With 1:11 on the clock and Hawkins coming in for Mosier, that's a smaller lineup. On the made free throw, look for Boise to be pressed.
0 for 2.
But you got to make the free throw to put the press on.
Hadia Maravich in some trouble, gets a timeout.
I hate that timeout.
Dick Vitale likes that timeout. I think it's a bad timeout.
Now you lost one for later in the game. Let me tell you what I think about timeouts. You can't take him to your grave, but if I have a heart attack late in the game, I want one to use. So you waste one right there. Now you're down to 3. He needed to find somebody to pass the ball to, and plus he needed to understand that the possession arrow was in favor of Boise. So if he doubled up the ball and gave birth to it, and he got tied up, guess what? They keep the basketball. Players need to understand that on the floor, understand the value of timeouts late in the game.
UNLV defense becoming a part of the story here in the first half. They've really started to close out the three-point line. And there you see the Rebel defense, 9th in the country in defending the three-point line, and they didn't do a good job at the start of this game, but they've done a much better job over the last few minutes.
Well, that number, that's the yin and the yang of this game. We got a great three-point shooting team and a great three-point defending team. Who wins out? And when we go back to that defense, let's remember, we showed Gary Tarkanian in the beginning. His great teams were built on defense. He must be happy about the defense played by Dave Rice's club.
Loriaga, that three was way off. Ball out of bounds. And they showed the block shot number 5.8. Kem Birch, since he became eligible in mid-December, that number has grown consistently. Even the shots that he doesn't block, he alters, and he's going to check out of the game right now. But he really is an enforcer near the goal. It is hard to get off shots.
He gets a block shot every 9 minutes. When I say he's a block shot waiting to happen, you and me, we're a turnover waiting to happen. He's a block shot waiting to happen.
And a good move by Coach Rice brings the better offensive player Bennett in for what will be probably the last offensive possession for the Rebels. Instead, we get a foul on Hawkins on a cross screen, and that takes the offense-defensive substitution. Birch in, Bennett out. And let's see what we get here. Does Hawkins set a illegal screen? Yeah, he slides right in with a hip.
That's an easy call.
You have to be more adept. You have to be adept at what I call setting legal, illegal screens. That was illegal all the way and too easy to tell.
Boise State's going to have the lead at halftime, Coach, and having gotten very little from Derek Marks. Marks only 4 points in the game.
And we said they wanted to have that lead be 5 or bigger, and it's going to be no matter what.
Thompson. Marshall, great defense. To Reinhardt, can he get it off? First half comes to a close. Boise State leads by 7. Coach, what will you take away from the first half?
That Boise did a great job shooting the 3 early, like you said. Then they ran them off the line and took away the 3. At the end there on the floor, UNLV started getting the ball inside. They got to pick up where they left off, feed and water the big guys.
Be sure to stay tuned at halftime. We've got lots of good stuff. Chris McGee will give you an inside look at Laker basketball. We'll also preview tomorrow's Mount West game and break down the first. Are we in Paris? Oh, no, that's right. We're in Las Vegas. Okay. We've got more basketball to come. It's 32-25. We're just about set for the start of the second half. And the dynamic duo for the Broncos in the backcourt this season, Derek Marks and Anthony Dremick.
Well, they averaged 33.4, on a ball game. They only have 14 so far tonight. But I'll tell you what I think is real important, that 14, is that Marks tends to be better in the second half. And if we add 3 people to this duo, make the trio with Aloriaga, he got 8 in the first half, so he made up for some of what they didn't get from these guys.
They're the numbers for Derek Marks in the first half. 5 turnovers, was completely out of sync. Dremick, 10 points, yes, but 3 personal fouls, and he's going to start the second half on the bench. What do you think of that decision, Coach?
I think it's a good decision because the officials tend to want to call the game tight early in the second half to make sure you got control of the game. And Bro play in the starting lineup in place of Dremick.
Marks can't get off the shot. Marshall has defended him very nicely.
And notice how he's almost face guarding him away from the ball, making sure the ball can't get into his hands.
Marks playing with his back to the basket over Marshall. That's not his game right there.
Little jostling coming down the floor between Watkins and Bennett.
Anthony Marshall, very nice.
And Watkins so concerned with Bennett that he forgets to get back and guard the basket.
Marshall now has half a dozen points to go along with 3 assists. Coach refers to him as the X factor for the Running Rebels, Anthony Marshall.
And another change in the starting lineup. See, we got Bennett here to start the second half instead of Birch. And he gets a defensive rebound on the first possession and then a block shot.
And then Mosier gets it to Marshall. Reinhardt's going to jack this 3. Leaves it short. He was lining up as soon as he got the basketball.
Great time to shoot the 3 in transition, especially when he had Bennett down there as the offensive rebounder.
Watkins. Jump hook, no. Bennett is fouled. I think it's Brooklyn who got him. No, it's Watkins who collects the foul.
And all that, though that does not go down as a defensive rebound, I would say it was a defensive rebound, and it shows the importance of Bennett on the glass. Remember, we discussed this Boise State team out-rebounded the Rebels in the first half. If I was Dave Rice, I would have a little conversation with the bigs about getting on the glass.
Challenge the guys. Say, look, it's unacceptable. You should be able to out-rebound Boise State. It's one thing if they did it to you at their place, but not in your own building.
Right into the post.
Good double team creates the turnover.
That double team. I always say that Anthony Bennett can travel in that HOV lane, that diamond lane. A lot of people will be around him.
That was a wild brick thrown up there by Hansi Amerigo. He's only a 28% three-point shooter. Marshall probes, gives it to John Jones. Easy 2. We've got a 3-point game. Good start to the second half. The defense has really sparked UNLV.
And Marshall demonstrating, although he's a lefty, he goes right real well.
Timeout, Boise State. Dremick will check into the game when we come back. They need his offense. Anthony Marshall for UNLV. Doing it on both ends of the floor. Here he's just kind of probes, sees a seam, gets the 2, and then he's got great vision. Sets up to John Jones. Rebels making a run here at the start of the second half, so just 2 minutes and 10 seconds into the second half. Broncos have to use the timeout because Anthony Marshall has sparked the team.
No question about it. Former great Cal player Dennis Gates was known as the Sheriff. I'm just going to call Anthony Marshall the Marshal. Like White Earp, he runs the show. Great job here. Distributes the ball, scores when needs to, takes care of the ball. When I say scores when needs to, he averages 7 points a game more on the road when it's toughest. He's demonstrating why he's an all-conference quality player.
Last year, he was second team All-Mountain West. Be great debates over the final week of the season. Who's going to make first team All-Mountain West in the best season ever for the conference.
When we showed the graphic earlier, we talked about the great guard play.
Marshall, one of those great guards.
Great hustle from the Running Rebels. Marshall finds Reinhardt to tie it. Reinhardt misses. And a foul on Aloriaga trying to box out. This place was about to explode.
Remember, that's 2 straight jumpers that Reinhardt has missed short. If you miss short, one of 2 things is happening in her jump shot. Not enough legs, or you're not following through high enough. And a good shooter then makes that mental note and adjusts the next time down.
Watkins, he picks up the foul. It was not Oloriaga, so Watkins goes to the bench with 3 fouls.
They got leading scorer with 3, best rebounder with 3.
Marshall. It's a 1-point game. Anthony Marshall. Boise State away from the basketball.
We got a blocking foul on Marks. Number 3 on Marks. Marshall, we're going to show here how he posts up. He's
Very good on the post-up as well. He likes to get down. And remember, Marks can't afford number 3, but he picked it up at the other end.
So Dremick and Marks both playing with 3 personal fouls. Mosier, nice pass. Dijon Jones and the Rebels have the lead.
Mosier making like Bill Walton on the passes interior. Great interior passing. When your bigs pass inside well, it makes your offense work better.
First lead of the night for UNLV. They were down 7-0.
And Coach Rice only has 2 timeouts left. He would have liked to use one to settle the crowd down, but now he's got to wait to the under-16 media.
8-0 run to start the half. Marks misses. Put back is blocked, and Bennett comes away with it. And he turns it over.
Big fella's got to know when to give it up.
Dremick is bumped by Dijon Jones.
Leon Rice having a little conversation there with Darren George.
Great look at a great cut.
Be active. The ball goes to the low post. Go to the basket. They doubled him. That means somebody's wide open. In this case, it was Dijon Jones.
Marshall's getting a breather right now. Smart move. He'll get a few seconds, and then it'll be the media timeout. Dremick connects, and boy, do the Broncos need that 3. They're back in front. They have now made 7 threes in the game. They average just under 8 made threes per game. They started out red hot. They were 5 of 8. Mosier wants it.
And Thompson got a foul.
So Thompson picks up the personal foul. We have a break in the action. We've got a tight one. 2-point game at the Thomas & Mack Center. Art Wolf alongside the coach Dave Bowinkle. And coach, take us through movement away from the basketball that leads to easy points.
Well, we talked earlier about anytime the ball's doubled. Now we see here the ball's inside with Mosier. Roll it, please. We see the double come. Stop it right there. We saw Oloriaga lost vision. He only sees the ball. His man back cuts. The rest of the defense needed to be further into here. They weren't, and what's the result? An easy flush by Dijon Jones and an assist for Bill Walton Mosier.
The Rebels have only had the lead once in this game by 1 point. It came just a few moments ago, and then Dremick knocked down the 3. Anthony Dremick is not getting as much attention because of the dynamic play of Derek Marks, but Anthony Dremick is a guy they can count on in conference play night in and night out. When they win, he plays great, and he's having a pretty good night. He's got 13 points.
As you said, he averages 19 points a ball game in their wins, 18 on the season in conference play. He's the conference leading scorer.
No Anthony Bennett on the floor right now for the Running Rebels. Reinhardt, smart play, and Marks has number 4.
Really smart play by Reinhardt. He got his man up in the air. Oftentimes players get the defender up in the air and then they try to avoid being fouled. He was smart enough to make sure he got fouled.
If you're a guard, you have to have these shot fakes, and notice he leans in a little bit, but not so much that he initiated the contact.
Because Marks left his feet and came down on top of him. Those are little tricks you got in what I call your toolbox. You're a basketball player, especially a perimeter player. You got that toolbox on your hip, and one of those tools that Caden Reinhardt has is the shot fake.
What do you think that message is right now from Leon Rice and Derek Marks? He's got 4 fouls. There's still more than 15 and a half minutes to go.
Got to know when to concede the basket so you can stay in the game. Sometimes you have to take your competitiveness down a notch.
Big-time foul trouble for Boise State. Marks with 4, Dremick and Watkins with 3 each. This is the first time we've had since the start of the game.
Well, the graphic you just showed, their 3 most important players are all in foul difficulty. Their best scorers and their best rebounder, and there's Dremick.
Dremick now has 15 points. Very nice cut to the basket from Anthony Dremick. Mosier still fighting for it. Ball out of bounds. Running Rebel basketball. One thing that should give Boise State confidence is they had a 7-point lead at halftime and got very little from Derek Marks, so that they know that they can compete even if he doesn't contribute much. Foul on UNLV. Caden Reinhardt. Just the second team foul for UNLV. Boise State's already committed 5 team fouls this half.
See, I don't consider that a bad foul. And the reason I say that is it's a turnover, but it's a dead ball turnover, so you set your defense. And it's a screen. Screening fouls we can live with because they're getting people open. You know who's going quiet, Ari, is Loriaga.
Very quiet. UNLV's done a much better job guarding the 3-point line. Thompson, nice pass, jump shot, no. Been a tough night. Ozzy Omerovich can't buy a basket.
I said earlier,
0 points.
I said earlier about Mosier, even when he hasn't played well, he's always defensive rebounded well. He's got those long arms, and he does a great job of rebounding out of his own space.
I love how when Mosier gets the defensive rebound, how quickly they can get out and run. Air ball from Justin Hawkins.
You know, Hawkins was 1 for his last 28 from beyond the arc. Now that's 1 for 29. I put the 3 in my pocket and just gone.
Loriaga got a look, can't connect. Offensive rebound. Dremick. Reverse layup, no, and Kem Birch comes away with a rebound.
And you talked earlier about Kem Birch not just blocking shots, but affecting shots. That's one where he affected it.
Back-to-back air balls for UNLV. Hawkins the steal. Dremick can't foul him, and Hawkins misses another layup, and then a foul on UNLV, and Justin Hawkins must be thinking, what is going on? He's normally so reliable.
You can set your watch by him, but right now, that watch is gonging.
I mean, he's missed 2 layups, point-blank range.
Good fastball, a back tip, and he really picked him. And again, he didn't use the backboard.
Why didn't he dunk it?
May not have had enough legs to do it. Okay, that's sometimes hard to tell. But at least use the backboard. He's had
Dremick with 3 fouls wasn't going to touch it. Boise State normally likes to score a lot of points, but with all their foul trouble, they might want to slow this game down. Take some time off the shot clock.
Well, you know, they like to play in transition and shoot it quick, but in the half court, they'll use some time even regularly like they have in this possession, and now they get a 3-point play opportunity.
Basket in the foul for Anthony Dremick. Well, the numbers speak to when he plays well, they win games. This is a really good sign for the Broncos.
Reinhardt didn't get him up above with a hand. He got him with a hip on the hip and knocked Dremick off balance. Dremick goes to where a good free throw shooter at 78%.
Misses the free throw. There's going to be a violation and another free throw coming up, and it goes against Anthony Marshall.
And what happened is Marshall came across the three-point line before the ball hit the rim, and you cannot do that.
Dremick takes advantage of the second opportunity. 18 points for Anthony Dremick. He's been very efficient, Coach. 7 of 9 from the field and a perfect 3 for 3 from beyond the arc.
I'd call it 3 for 4. He got a lucky break on that one.
Well, I was actually referring to his three-point shooting, not the free throw shooting. Has not missed from beyond the arc.
Wrong line by me. I apologize. A nice up and under with a little bank effort by Bennett. I like that part of his game.
Dremick knows without Marks, he's going to have to be the man. I'm not sure that's the shot selection the coach Leon Rice is looking for.
Not quick threes. You need to get some movement to break the defense down so you might get a chance for an offensive rebound.
Hawkins the 3. You told him to put it away, put it back in the toolbox. He's not listening so far. Nice steal to John Jones. And he misses the layup. We've done a lot of UNLV games this year. I've never seen him miss this many layups. And it's not like Boise State has a great shot block.
It's just a lack of focus. There's a little dribble weave action.
Dremick open, reverse layup. Nice pass there from Buckner.
What Dremick does a good job of is getting the ball up on the glass quickly. In other words, once the ball touches his hands, it's much like Doug McDermott at Creighton is also very good at that. The ball touches the hands, it's on the glass before the big guy can get to the blocking.
Anthony Dremick, already 20 points in the game, and he's done his scoring in a variety of ways.
Well, he wears number 3 for a reason. Somebody thinks he can shoot the 3. He drives it to the basket. He gets it on a cut. He gets the leaner and gets to the line where he's a good free throw shooter. And the last one he got on a good, nice cut right here. And notice how he gets the ball up quickly on the glass.
So, Coach, the lead was 7 at the half. And we saw an emotional run from UNLV. But Boise State counters, and the lead is back to 7. Now what does UNLV need to do to get themselves back in the game?
Remember that the way they got back in the game was got the ball inside and played harder on defense. Amongst the things the defense energy does, it energizes the crowd. You get the 6th man into the game when you play hard on defense. People respect effort.
Excellent point. 11:43 to go in the second half. A 10-2 run over the last 4:26 for the Boise State Broncos. Keep in mind, UNLV is perfect at home in conference play, 6-0. Boise State in conference play is 2-5 on the road. But they do have 2 road wins over ranked teams this season. Leon Rice's team went to Creighton and won. And it seems like a long time ago when Larry Shiat's Wyoming Cowboys were ranked. But they were at one point in the season one of 5 Mountain West teams ranked this year.
In this game, you know, we're talking about Dremick scoring. He's a little out of character for him. He only averages 10 points a game in the 4 games that the Broncos have played against top 25 teams. So normally against the better opponents, the main man is Marks. Tonight, Dremick's come alive.
Dremick's going to get a double-double, Coach. He's now got 20 and 8 rebounds. And the way that their perimeter players rebound the basketball on the defensive end, it's inspiring to watch how good they are at it, because when you look at them physically, you think there's no way they could out-rebound UNLV. But this is one game they already did it in Boise, and it looks like they're going to do it again tonight. We're going to take a break right now. The crowd very quiet at the 11:06 to go in the second half. Broncos lead the Running Rebels by 7, and we'll take a look at the UNLV resume, Coach, and let's just speculate for the moment. If the Broncos were to hold on and win this game, what does this do to the tournament resume for UNLV?
Well, right away, this is not a key loss, okay, because it's because it's a good team, but it's a home loss, and that really hurts you. The home losses really hurt you, and I think it's going to take that RPI ranking and drop that some. Does it take them out of the tournament? No, because they have enough big wins already.
Now, if the regular season was done right now, this is how the brackets would look. New Mexico would play the winner of Fresno State, Nevada. Boise State and San Diego State, the 4-5 matchup. They play this Saturday in Boise. UNLV against Air Force. They've split the two meetings. And Air Force also almost won here at the Thomas Mack. They had a shot to win it at the end of regulation. Michael Lyons missed about a 12-foot jump. Bennett, big-time block. But a lot can change. The only thing we know for sure is that New Mexico will be the #1 seed.
So big-time block, I disagree. You know why? He just slaps it out of bounds. Tip it to a teammate. I know I'm being picky here, but that's what coaches are. We coach against the game. Get the ball inbounds like Bill Russell. Actually, Ken Bursch does a good job of that as well.
You want everyone to play with the intelligence of Bill Russell, which I appreciate. Bennett's got 3 blocks in the game. Remick, shot clock winding down, finds the shooter. Broke play. The triple from the corner. Beautiful assist from Dremick.
So you cannot come off the shooters against Boise. The tendency on a dribble drive is to help on the driver. No. Make the driver score over a big hand. Don't leave the shooters in the corners.
8 made threes in 17 attempts now for Boise State.
See, Dremick gets almost 3 assists a game. He's a good passer, and Reinhardt came to help. You can't come to help in that situation. Stay on the shooters in the corners.
Bro play in limited minutes has knocked down 2 triples. DeJon Jones is fouled hard by Watkins. Watkins now has 4 fouls. DeJon Jones to the free throw line. DeJon Jones has had a nice game. He's got 8 points, 4 of 6 shooting from the field.
I think part of the reason the Rebels have played well in this stretch is DeJon Jones has upped his game. He's starting to get a feel for what it means to play here for UNLV.
Both these teams riding 4-game winning streaks. As it is the final week of the regular season. The Mountain West tournament starts here a week from tomorrow. 8-9 playing game, and then the 4 quarterfinals on Thursday. DeJon Jones hits both free throws. It's an 8-point game, still more than 10 minutes to go second half.
One thing happened with Dremick, he's going to give it up, but it's always going to come back to him.
Dremick travels with it.
See, Dremick's played all that international basketball. In the international game, you get that little extra step.
He's been fantastic tonight, one of his rare mistakes.
See where Bennett's off the lane? He needs to get the ball closer to the lane.
Reinhardt. Can't connect on the 3. Good box out from Buckner.
What Bennett has to do when Buckner boxes him out, he has to spin off his back. Don't be content to be blocked out. Spin, fight, get underneath the rim, and root your man back out to get the offensive board.
Dremick being guarded by Reinhardt. Dremick looks to create, and he's fouled, and will go to the free throw line. Anthony Dremick, in this environment, has displayed some real toughness tonight. He has not been scared of contact. And I know some people around the league think he can be a little dramatic on the court, that he flops too much. He's shown something tonight, that he's developing some toughness to play in this league.
Well, he's a basketball player for Down Under, but it looks like he might be an Australian rules football player with that toughness. Watch how hard he works without the ball, how he curls the screen. He works very hard. He flies off screens into the catch.
2 for 2 for Dremick. The lead back to 10. Marshall wants to clear out, wants to work on Thompson. DeJon Jones from the free throw line.
Man's posted up. That's what Marshall was. From the weak side, cut to the high post, and he'll find you. So we talked about Dijon Jones getting better. That was an example. His defensive play on the ball.
Field goal from Dijon Jones. They had a long field goal drought, more than 6 minutes. Loriaga can't hit the three. And this is what Mosier does best. Get the defensive rebound and push it. Gets it to Bennett, easy two. That's all Mike Mosier right there.
Lead down to 6, 8:22. Coach Leon Rice is praying for that under 8 timeout to come.
Bennett now has 11 points. Loriaga's doubled. Fans are loving it here at the Thomas and Mack. Dremick in and out on the long triple. Another defensive rebound for Mike Mosier.
That thing got every part of the rim. It just didn't get any net. Inside, he's open.
John Jones drives. They're going to have a foul before the shot. No basket. The 1-and-1 is coming up when we come back. Mosier, so good at creating, gets it to the big man, Anthony Bennett, for the easy finish. Broncos lead is 6 points, 7:35 to go second half. And let's look at the overall conference resume and what has been a record-setting season for the Mountain West.
One team in the top 12.
Numerous other teams have gotten votes and are top 25 caliber teams. The number 2 team conference in America RPI-wise behind the Big Ten. You know what I say? I'm traveling around the country picking up newspapers. I was in Atlanta, I was in Houston, and papers around the country are talking about the Mountain West. People in other parts of America recognize how good the Mountain West Conference is.
7:35 to go in the second half. Dijon Jones to the free throw line. And, Coach, it seems obvious to fans, but talk about the difference between threes and twos.
Well, it's real simple in this game. One team is 8 of 19. They're wearing the dark jerseys. The other team is 1 of 13. That means that UNLV has been outscored beyond the arc 24-3 by 21 points. No wonder they're down 5.
John Jones, after missing his first 2 free throws, hasn't missed since. Now 4 for 6 from the line. It's a 4-point game, and the fans back into it here at the Thomas and Mack.
The fans taking their responsibilities seriously. They have a responsibility to support the team.
Derek Marks back in the game for the Broncos with 4 fouls, and Birch with the block.
And see, that's a block that gets you a possession, not going out of bounds. And a 3.
Reinhardt delivers. It's a 1-point game. He's been cold, but he's keeps shooting. He is now 1 for 6 from beyond the arc. Thompson, and that's blocked by Mosier. Here come the Runner Rebels.
All right, now what I'm doing, if I'm Marshall, I'm going to find Reinhardt again. He just made a 3, so get him a shot. See that mismatch? He wanted to take the big off the bounce.
And Birch is fouled.
So we get the block by Birch. He keeps it in play. Marshall comes out of the pack. Now Marshall recognizes, oh, that's the 3 the previous possession. My bad. And Reinhardt gets off the slide.
A 9-0 run over the last minute 47 seconds. Make it a 10-0 run. And a chance for UNLV right now to take just their second lead of the game.
And what set up this possession was that Marshall understood he was being guarded by Buckner. He could take the bigger, heavier player off the dribble. Smart play by Anthony Marshall.
An 11-0 run. And the Rebels back in front. I love this time of year. These fans, they got here on time, and they've been engaged throughout.
Very aggressive Rebel defense as they trap Remick.
Eloriaga hits the three.
You gotta
quiet the fans for a moment.
You gotta know they're guys you can't help off of. Eloriaga, you can't help off of him.
Mosier.
I gotta tell you, Ari, the fans are up and cheering. I want to stand up.
Eloriaga, can he do it again? Yes. Back-to-back triples.
And at one end, Mosier got a 2. At this end, they get 3s. I'm smart enough to know that 3's worth more than 2.
Eloriaga's got 14 points and 4 made threes. DeJon Jones a long 2, no. Eloriaga comes up. A little shaken up on that ankle. Oh, it's all right.
Remember, he missed some games earlier this year with a concussion, too. He's a tough customer. He's going to hang in there.
Another one. Off the bank. Did he call bank? I don't think so, but he'll take it.
The bank of Boise just opened, and you know what? In horse it didn't count, but in this game it was 3.
Wow. 3 threes from Eloriaga, and the lead is 6 points for Boise State.
Well, we talked about the fact that during the season, he's had 13 games with 3 or more threes, and as you mentioned, he's had 1 game with 10 threes. But this last one was not what he expected.
No, this was a heat check, though. He wanted to see if he really had it going.
And a good screen by Dremick gets him open for the shot.
Look at his teammates. They love it.
And he's nonchalant at like 8.
No big deal.
Just the way. And you know what Leon Wright's saying? Leon Wright's saying, just the way I drew it up.
All right, 4:56 to go. Still lots of time for the Running Rebels to mount another comeback. But that's the one thing. Is they so many times tonight have climbed the mountain. They get just to the top. They get the lead. And Boise State's had an answer every time.
And it takes not just physical, but more importantly, emotional energy to make those comebacks. Bennett's in the ball game. Make him get a touch. And I would like to see him get the ball more on the block instead of off the lane line.
Marshall before the shot. It is 2 shots. That's my bad. 2 shots coming up for Anthony Marshall.
You know what part of that is, Ari, is one of the points of emphasis this year has been the continuation play. Not to make it like it's Michael Jordan, but rather to, if the guy is in his shooting motion, even if he's still on the floor, to give him the continuation play opportunity. And that's the reason Anthony Marshall's shooting a pair.
Boise State has now committed 19 fouls, so one more, and it'll be the double bonus the rest of the way. Mosier comes out of the game, and Mosier has certainly been a catalyst for several of the runs. And again, I always come back to the same point. When he gets the defensive rebound, he gets that fast break going as well as any big man in America.
He has the ability, what I say, is to get the board and bust out on the bounce, and it saves you a pass.
4-point game.
Marks back in.
Derek Marks playing with 4 personal fouls, just 4 points in the game, being guarded by Anthony Marshall, who's kept him quiet all night.
The fans behind us yelling no threes like the team doesn't know that.
Buckner blocked by Bennett. Hawkins up high to get the loose ball. Reinhardt. Marks comes and gets the basketball. He can create his own shot whenever he wants.
And getting to the free throw line is as good as a shot.
settles for the three, can't make the shot. Basket and the foul, Anthony Marshall. Crowd loving it. Thomas and Mack Center, one of the great home court advantages in all of college basketball, and they have been treated to great comebacks throughout this game from UNLV. And Anthony Marshall, the team's leader, not only gets the basket, but draws the foul on Derek Marks, and Marks has fouled out of the game.
We see the dribble drive. It is, you know, it's a little bit of a nickel dimer, as Bill Rafferty would say. Not too much of a foul there. That you could have let that one go. But you know what? The whistle was blown by the official, and that's all that really counts.
So Marshall, what a night he's having. 12 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. And again, you call him the X Factor. I also, he's the glue. I mean, when things are going really bad, he seems to have this knack for getting his team back together.
Well,
and Marks is smiling, but it's just been a tough night for him now. What's his responsibility now on the bench?
To be the best cheerleader possible to help his team, and the next thing is to coach. He's been replaced by freshman Mikey Thompson. At timeouts, at dead balls, you have to help coach your underling, your understudy. And Marshall goes to the line here, making a free throw. You said a glue guy, and last year Sports Illustrated chose him to their all-glue team. So he does fit that.
Marshall hits the free throw. Largest lead of the night. 2 points for the Running Rebels.
But this is when Boise bounced back last time.
Anthony Dremick, 22 points in the game. And it's going to be a foul on DeJon Jones. That's team foul number 7. So Dremick to the free throw line for the 1-1. He's a 78% free throw shooter.
See, one of the things that Dave Rice is telling DeJon Jones is know that you've got a shot blocker behind you. Move your feet. If you can't stop him, let him go. There's Bennett behind to protect you.
And Dremick misses the free throw. Bennett the rebound.
And you know what I say? That's tantamount to missing 2. You got to make the front ends if you want to win on the road.
Bennett's now got 11 points and 8 rebounds. It's Marshall again. Marshall has taken over this game.
Marshall with a move I've never seen him use. The right-handed in and out. That's called a Hardaway. You think of Tim Hardaway. Take it in, bring it back out, and he's right-handed.
A 10-0 run for UNLV. Thompson rattles home the triple. 1-point game. Anthony Marshall. Coach Rice asked him to turn into a point guard. He's added so much to his game in his senior year.
well, he's become a scoring point guard. He was a scoring 2 that could pass. Now he's become a scoring point that passes first, but then he can deliver the ball. He's so good at getting to the cup. And here he gets DeJon. Oh, no, that's the last one on the drop step score. And there's that in and out with the right hand we just talked about. And does he play with some excitement? He's a senior from Mojave High School here in Las Vegas, excited to finish his career with 2 home ball games.
Good things happen.
And then, of course, the Mount West tournament is played right here at the Thomas and Mack.
Everybody in scarlet and gray, on your feet.
Rebel basketball. Anthony Bennett's in the game. We'll see if they play inside out. They bring Bennett out for the high screen.
Bennett gets away with a shove there. He's getting off of Dremick. Excuse me, Marshall with a shove.
Marshall. Dijon Jones. Again, no, but he'll go to the free throw line.
We've talked about Boise State's great defensive rebounding for an undersized team. They give up only 7.8 offensive boards a night, but guess what? That's an offensive board given up at a crucial time.
Anthony Dremick picks up the personal foul. He's got 4. Derek Marks is already fouled out of the game. There's no way Dremick's coming out. They need his offense.
My question, Ari, did you bring your jock?
I don't have any offense, so I wouldn't do him much good. Dijon Jones makes the free throw. Kem Birch comes in for defense. Probably see a lot of that. Every whistle will go offense, defense, substitution.
At this point in the game, you're going to start getting that a little bit. Those are the situational relievers just in there to face that left-handed pitcher. Left-handed batter, excuse me.
The lead is 3.
Hawkins in as well because Coach Rice has got his best perimeter defensive group on the court.
Dremick is double teamed. He needs help. Looking for bro plate, and the Running Rebels come up with it.
Deflection to an interception. Deflection by Caton Reinhardt, an interception coming up. But up 3 with a minute 22. Hey, the way Boise shoots the 3, this is nowhere near over.
The way Anthony Marshall's playing right now, put the game in his hands. Let him either shoot it or create.
And Boise's got to be smart. Don't foul late in the shot clock. And he did.
Anthony Dremick has fouled out, and Anthony Marshall has 2 guys who have picked up their 5th personal fouls trying to defend Anthony Marshall.
So that puts a big onus, ball handling and perimeter scoring on freshman Mikey Thompson. And he's got to find Aloriaga open. Aloriaga's going to have to make a 3 someplace down the stretch in order for Boise to win.
Dremick finishes his night with 22 points and 8 rebounds.
But most importantly, 5 fouls. All right, here's the dribble drive. And it's a block. It's a good call. Leon Rice is not happy. Marshall's low, but the guy moving his feet is, in fact, Dremick. And what Leon's using is the 30 seconds on the foul out as a free timeout. This is a rule they have to do away with in college basketball. They've got to make the substitution faster, get the game going again.
Come on, this is great drama. It just adds a little more suspense. Where do you got to go? Enjoy the moment.
So here's a reset coming up, so we know where things stand. Possession arrow in favor of UNLV. That's important to know. Timeouts, 1 for Boise, 2 for the Rebels. Team fouls. Boise is shooting the 1-1, where UNLV will be shooting the double bonus.
What a second half for Anthony Marshall. His team was down double digits in the second half, and he has led them to the comeback. And right now a 4-point lead.
He's playing like a senior should play in the last 2 home games of his career.
Thompson the drive. Aloriaga. Let's wait and see what the call is. A foul on UNLV.
Now the question is he shooting a 2 or was he shooting a 3? Is he going to shoot 3 free throws, or just a pair?
That's what the officials are discussing. It's going to be the 1-1.
They're saying it's before the shot.
Aloriaga, considering how good a three-point shooter he is just a 68% free throw shooter. That's a good call. I mean, he got kicked
Really
right in
call.
the gut. And he was smart to try to get the shot off.
It was a smart play by Hawkins to foul him before he could get the 3 off. Those are big shots for Loriaga, who's only 11 of 16 from the free throw line on the season. He doesn't do real well off that line. Beyond the other line, he's superb.
Timeout on the floor, 51 seconds to go. And, Coach, let's go through the important things to do in finishing games.
Well, UNLV is going to have either a 2 or a 3-point lead. With 51 seconds, they may or may not get fouled, but they got to make clutch free throws. They got to be strong with the ball. They commit no foolish fouls, and they understand score and clock situation. And part of that situation is that the possession arrow is in your favor. That if it looks like he's going to tie you up, let him tie you up. You get a new reset on the clock, and the ball belongs to you.
Coach Dave Rice, coach of his team. There's our game reset. Each team with one timeout. Double bonus for UNLV, not for Boise State just yet. Also want to reset what's at stake. UNLV right now in a tie for second place in the Mountain West with a conference mark of 9-5. Boise State right behind them at 8-6. And Boise State has already beaten UNLV at their place. If UNLV wins this game, they could assure themselves of a top 3 finish in the Mountain West.
And what may also manifest itself here, Ari, is the question of down 3, do you foul to prevent the 3? So keep an eye on that coming up.
2-point game.
No need to foul. A difference of 15 seconds between shot clock and game clock. In defending, though, you definitely don't foul late in the shot clock.
Anthony Marshall content to hold the basketball and let the shot clock wind down. Marshall's been brilliant in the second half. 12 second half points. Hasn't missed a shot from the field. Reinhardt, the triple. Yes! Timeout, UNLV.
Kent Burch back in the ball game.
Caden Reinhardt, who started from the arc 0 for 6, has come alive, and he's hit 3 in a row.
Big players make big shots at big points in the ball game. And if you shoot a soft ball, and Caden does, he's got good arc and good backspin, you get some of those shooter's bounces.
So the lead is 5, Coach. Take me through what Boise State needs to do and how quickly they need to get it done.
Well, first of all, they want a 3 if it shows up. But if a 3 doesn't show up quickly, just take the ball to the basket and get a 2. Because you're down by 5, you're going to need a 2 and a 3. What I say is if the differential was divisible by 3, then you have to shoot a 3. But it's not divisible by 3. So if you get a 3, great. If not, get to the rim and stretch the ball game. Now, what I like about Dave Rice, he's implementing what I call a coward's press. Just a little pressure so that some time's taken off the clock by Boise in advancing the ball.
The running Rebels were down 7 at the half, then down double digits early in the second half. Now lead by 5 points.
There's a little cat and mouse pressure on Mikey Thompson.
And that'll do it. Justin Hawkins with the steal. The running Rebels at the Thomas and Mack. Sometimes when it seems there's no way they're going to come back, they always seem to find a way at home to get it done.
Having spent 25 years on the bench, I have a coach's mentality. This is still a 2-possession game with 8 seconds unless he makes both of these. So I think he's got to make both before Coach Rice can, breathe a sigh of relief.
Justin Hawkins, the senior at the line, hits the first one. The lead is 6.
So now, remember what I said, if it's divisible by 3. So now Boise needs 3s, unless he makes this one, and then basically it's over anyway.
The lead is 7. The Running Rebels have outscored Boise State by 14 points in the second half. Thompson's three goes hit off the board. The lead is still 4. UNLV improves to 23-7. They are 10-5 in Mountain West play. Boise State a heartbreaker. They are now 20-9, 8-7 in Mountain West Conference play. And coach, this was a magnificent second half performance from the Running Rebels, from their leader, Anthony Marshall.
Oh, Marshall took the game over in the second half. Seniors should, especially when they're playing their last couple of ball games. This is not a bad loss for Boise. This is a very good Boise State team. This is not a bad loss, and it was a great college basketball game.
What a night tonight at the Thomas & Mack Center. And there you see UNLV for the moment alone in second place. They will finish out the regular season on Saturday, 3 p.m. at home against Fresno State. And we will have that game right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Net. On behalf of Dave Bullwinkle and our entire crew, I am Ari Wolf saying goodnight from the Thomas & Mack Center, where UNLV defeats Boise State 68-64. Have a great night, everybody.